Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Auto Club Speedway is the premier motorsports facility in Southern California. Built on the site of the former Kaiser Steel Mill near Fontana in 1996-97 at a cost of $100 million. The track has 84,000 permanent seats and is home to a NASCAR Cup and Xfinity Series race each spring. Constructed by the Penske Corporation as a clone of Michigan Speedway, the track was originally known as California Speedway. It was later purchased by ISC, which subsequently sold its naming rights to the Automobile Club of Southern California in 2008. In addition to the high-banked oval, Auto Club Speedway features several road course configurations which have been used for sports car and motorcycle races, as well as an infield track used for testing purposes. Given its proximity to Hollywood, the track has also appeared in scores of movies, television shows, and commercials. Not much remains of Auto Club Speedway these days, but it lives on in the sim world. And tonight, it's race 14 of the PSRA Open ARCA Series, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Virtual Auto Club Speedway Race 14 of the PSRA Open ARCA Series. Let's take a look at the race details. Tonight, weather-wise, we're looking 77-degree ambient temperature, 47% humidity, clear skies, 14-mile-per-hour breeze. Track temp, as we are under the lights, nice and low, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Race distance, 87 laps. Stage break at lap 20. Full fuel at 100% on board. Unlimited tire sets over the wall. No fast repairs, count them, 0 zip zillage, and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish if so necessary. Good evening, everyone. Once again, welcome to the Virtual Auto Club Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits Network, bringing you coverage of tonight's race. Practice just about wrapped up at the Speedway. Let's see who's fastest thus far. David Bradford with a 39.250, followed by Will Jones, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Chris Klein, and the 10 of Matt Nicholson. Season winding down here in the PSRA Open ARCA Series. Second season under this moniker. Schedule-wise, of course, Auto Club this evening. Then we roll into Dover Motor Speedway next week. However, that will not be a broadcasted race unless we end up doing a tape delay. I'll be traveling out of town, so unfortunately no coverage, at least live coverage, at Dover. Then we followed up at Bristol Motor Speedway and closing out the season at MIS, the sister track here to Auto Club Speedway. This being the last race in this second round of the playoffs. David Bradford going to need a win here tonight. Of course, missed last week. Colt Ansley, however, didn't get his win last week. He'll be missing this evening's race. "30 seconds left in the session before we drop the black and red flags to close this out. We'll get right into qualifying immediately thereafter. There, the clock strikes 0, thus ending the practice session. And we will roll right into qualifying immediately following. And we'll see who takes to the track first. Looks like Frank Griffith will be first to roll. Qualifying 2 laps or 5 minutes, whichever completes first. Griffith out of turn 4, about to take the green. '54, Frank Griffith on his first time lap into turns 3 and now 4. Back to the gas. Looks like a decent lap. We'll see what kind of time he can drop down. Cross start finish line. Where does he land? First lap in the books for Frank Griffith. What is it? A 40.043. Just as quick, though, Chris Klein crosses the stripe. bests him by almost a half second. 39.564. Mike Fahey jumps up to P2 while Bobby Jr. goes top of the board. 39.520. That's his first lap. Little loose for Klein, middle of turn 4, slides up the racetrack. That's going to slow him down, I believe. We'll see what kind of lap he turns out. Second lap slower, 39.610. Bobby Jr. with a 5:20 his first lap. Can he improve? Short goes pole. Now Bobby takes it away just as fast. A 39.121. Will Jones jumps up with a 188. That'll complete his run. Josh Ingram with a 9.42 on his first lap. Top two still Hamilton Jr. and Will Jones. Across the line, Ingram goes 8th, picks it up 39.714. Meanwhile, Mike Fahey appears to have had a problem on his second lap. He'll lock in 6th with the 39.612. David Bradford with a 78 sits in the 10th spot. We'll need about 6/10 here to knock Hamilton Jr. off the top spot. Way down to the apron of the racetrack, crosses the line, goes pole. 39.104 for David Bradford, puts it on the top spot. Corey Bigley with a 92, his second lap across the line, 7th quick. Now Derek Runge, the number 99. Just barely off the wall, off of 4. Fourth quick, 39.300. First lap invalidated, but it doesn't matter. Lap 2 was definitely quick. Just about everybody's taking the time here with the exception of Mark Truxell. 30 seconds left in the session. Mark may just opt to start from the rear. So with that, we're going to get a very short break out of the way. We'll be back with our starting grid after this. Stay with us. Back at Auto Club Speedway, it's time for our starting grid, so let's take a look on the pole position with a lap time of 39.104 seconds. It's the number 13 in a must-win, David Bradford. Outside front row, missed it by 17 thousandths of a second. It's the H&H Unlimited number 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Starting in row number 2, it's Will Jones, flanked by the 99 of Derek Runge. Row 3, it's Vincent Short and Matt Nicholson. Row number 4, it's the 57 Stinger Motorsports entry of A.J. Rogers. Corey Bigley will start 8th. Starting in the 5th row, it's Chris Klein and Dominic Bettini. 11th starter, the 65 of Keenan Kimber. Mike Fahey will start to his outside in the 12th spot. 13th starter from Hewitt Motorsports, it's the 71 of Alan DeFries. Josh Ingram starts 14th. 15th starter, it's Frank Griffith. And 16th shotgun on the field, the 5 of Mark Truxell. Your starting grid here for Auto Club Speedway. We'll get rolling here momentarily. Still waiting on a few drivers to get to the starting grid. That'll be Derek Runge, Vincent Short, and Dominic Bettini. Now just Runge and Short needing to get to the grid. Last-minute adjustments possibly going into those race cars. Again, open setup racing here in the PSRA Open ARCA Series. So got to make sure you're not racing in Q trim. Missing a couple of drivers tonight, Colt Ansley, Will Hewitt, and Derek Welch. Still waiting on Derek Runge and Vincent Short. And there it is. I think we've got everybody up on the starting grid here. One pace lap. Next time by, we'll be racing. Race details again, if you missed it in the open, 76 degrees, 51% humidity, clear skies, 9-mile-per-hour breeze, 78-degree track temp, that's come down a couple degrees. Race distance is 87 laps. Stage break at lap 20. Full fuel at 100% on board. Unlimited tire sets over the wall. No fast repairs. 0 zip, zillage, and 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish if necessary. Pace car comes to the pit lane. Barney the flagman with the green in hand, ready to get us underway.
Green flag.
There it is. Green flag is in the air. We're racing from Fontana. Matt Nicholson scraping the wall out of turn number 2, continues to keep the hammer down the back straightaway. Bradford out to the early lead. Jones in second. Short now up to third. Short gaining 2 positions in the first 3/4 of a lap, but he's under attack from Bobby Hamilton Jr. Bobby looks to the inside as Nicholson gets the wall off of turn 4. Want to make it even from 2 to 4. Across the stripe. Bradford leads lap 1. Jones still second. Short hanging on to third, but Bobby Hamilton Jr. approaching. Bobby with a run down the back straightaway, gets a nose alongside Short as they head down into 3, but horsepower under the hood for the Vincent Short machine carries it down into turn 3, puts a gap of about a car length between himself and the number 25. Big run again on corner exit for Bobby Hamilton Jr. Sniffs the inside of Vincent Short, just enough there. Down to the bottom of the racetrack. Matt Nicholson going to push it 3 wide as they head down into turn number 1. Bobby will take the spot away from Vincent Short, but Nicholson's got it as well. Short's going to lose 2. Hamilton to third. Might be able to hang on to it if Nicholson doesn't continue the run that he just had this last lap. Battle behind the 25. Short was quick out of the gate, but 4 laps in, starting to free fall slightly here as Klein, Kimber, and Runge have all made Short work at the 15. Vincent goes from 3rd back to 8th in just about a lap or 2. A.J. Rogers closing in the back bumper of Short as well. Kind of wonder if Vince just trying to take care of his stuff here at this point in the race. Well, if that car is really just not set for the long run. It is relatively early here, so we're not in a long run just yet. But if he's falling back because of the setup now, he could be in trouble. A.J. Rogers now to the inside. Out front still David Bradford and Will Jones, 1 and 2. Bobby Jr. third. Kimber now to the inside on Chris Klein. Klein way up the racetrack, a little loose on exit. Still has the run, though. Kimber tried to close the door, but wasn't going to be too aggressive. Actually keeps the door open for Klein down the back into turn 3. Oh, big time in the wall. Nicholson and Kimber both. Kimber might have been running the same line as the 10 and was dragged into the fence in doing so. Kimber's dropped now back to the 9th spot. Still up a couple of spots from where he started, back in the 10th position. Sorry, 11th. Battle for the lead maybe shaping up here as Bobby Jr. has closed the gap to the top 2. Will Jones all over the back bumper of David Bradford as they roll down into turns 1 and 2. Bradford takes the middle lane. Jones on the bottom. Will Jones slots up just inches clear of the 25 of Bobby Hamilton Jr. They work down the back straightaway. On board with David Bradford as he continues to lead here in Fontana. Will Jones on board with the 46 as he's trying to hold off the 25 of Bobby Jr. Now Bobby's got company. Matt Nicholson works to the inside. Will Jones back on the attack, taking a peek to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get that race lead from Bradford. Bradford drifts up out of turn number 2. Big run down the backstretch. Now to the outside of Will Jones. Bobby Hamilton Jr. snakes it up on the onside, the 46. Bradford saw it coming through a bit of a block on Bobby. Wasn't sure how much of a run he had. Little wiggle out of the 25 in the middle of 3 and 4 as he slips up the track just a bit. Ten laps complete here from Auto Club Speedway, and the battles have been plenty. Top 7 all in the frame there. Bradford continues to lead. Side-by-side battle for second out of turn 2. Jones has a bit of a run, but not enough to get clear of Bobby. Bobby now a nose ahead of the 46. Bradford drops up to the top lane there to block off the run, maybe dump some dirty air on the nose of Hamilton Jr., but it cost him as Will Jones gets to the middle, but he's loose in the middle of turn 4. Hangs onto it, but it allows the 99 of Runge to close the gap. Coming back to the line, lap 11 up on the board. Bradford leads. Hamilton Jr. now second. Jones back to third, but for how long? Runge and Kimber both pressing hard behind the 46. They want to continue their march forward, and here comes Matt Nicholson and Chris Klein. Bradford continues to lead, but Bobby is right there. Takes a look to the inside, midway down the backstretch. Now the run into 3. Bobby is there, not quite clear, but looks like he'll have him on the exit of turn 4. What kind of run will we see from the 13 of Bradford? New leader at the stripe, and here comes the run from David Bradford. He wants it back. Side drafts the 25 a little bit here in the dogleg. Heads back down into 1. He'll have the top spot back. Now that loss of momentum has hurt the 25 as it's allowed Will Jones to close the gap back. Jones got alongside on the exit of turn number 2. Now Bobby powers down the backstretch into turns 3 and 4 yet again. Puts a car length and a half on the 46. Puts his nose just a few feet off the back bumper of the race leader. Nicholson in the fence again now off of turn 4. He's not going to be able to get away with that too many more times before that car starts to show some damage. 3 wide behind him, Nicholson in the mix. Kimber in the middle, Klein on the bottom, the 10 up top. Doors closing for Kimber, has to keep it off the left rear quarter of the 10. Does so just so nicely. Continue under the green flag here in Fontana. 13 laps in the books. David Bradford leads. He's led all but one. Bobby Jr. got up there for a moment, but he runs now third with Will Jones back in the second spot. David Bradford got his hands full in the cockpit of that Crown Apple number 13. Second, third, and fourth didn't quite get the corner they were looking for. A gap has been built by Bradford, albeit a tenth and a half, back to second and third. They continue to battle side by side. Bobby Jr. now to the bottom of the racetrack to the back bumper of Bradford. Gets up clear of Will Jones. Little loose is the 46. Little loose is the 25. Loose is fast. It explains why they're running in the top 3. Jones now back to the inside on Bobby Hamilton Jr. They'll head down into turn number 1, still side by side. Behind them, another side by side battle. Derek Runge and Chris Klein. You're going to make it 3 wide as Nicholson's going to think about going up the middle. Nicholson thinks better of it, checks up, but now the run for the 99 of Derek Runge out of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway alongside Will Jones. 1 car off the pace to the backstretch. It's Mike Fahey, the number 19. Don't think he hit anything, but we stay green, and he's back in the gas, grabbing more gears as he tries to get back up to speed. 2 cars in the wall again, Chris Klein and Kimber. I'm going to lose my voice to keep racing like this. This action has been incredible in the early going. Here is Kimber, real loose. And that thing dead sideways out of turn number 2. Hangs onto it, but loses a ton of momentum. Matt Nicholson will get clear with ease, but now he's going to have to run down that pack that's ahead of him. They're running side by side as Klein tries to close the door on Jones. Not enough room. Jones checks up, cuts him a break. Won't expect to see that with 10 to go. Out front, Bobby Jr. still playing peekaboo in the mirrors of David Bradford. Now way up top of the racetrack. It's opened the door for Derek Runge. Runge with his own handling problem at the bottom of the racetrack. Gets a little loose trying to keep it on the white line. Chris Klein now up to the 3rd spot. 6 positions gained as Bobby goes to the bottom, making a look for the race lead. On board with David Bradford. Oh, real close to the wall goes the 13 of Bradford. I don't think he got a piece of it, but it couldn't have been more than an inch away. Chris Klein now making his move for the 2nd spot as they head down to 1. First stage coming to a close here. Again, stage break at lap 20. This is a points-paying stage. These guys get awarded points if they win this thing. They're going to fight hard for it. Chris Klein working up the inside. No help pushing the 51. Trying to get by, but he doesn't have the momentum. Here comes Bobby Jr., though. Bottom of the racetrack. He'll try to take the lead away here late in this stage. Doesn't have enough room to get clear. Bradford going to work around the outside, carry that momentum out of turn 4. Still side by side, coming to the stripe. Lap 20 will go on the board. Bradford will cross the stripe first, then I think Bobby Jr., then Derek Runge. Runge now to the 2nd spot. Bobby 3rd, battling with Chris Klein to his outside. Will Jones falling back to the 5th spot. Maybe a short run setup for him as well. Bradford, though, has been fast right out of the gate and has continued to keep his car at the front of the field as this stage is about to end. Off of turn number 4, coming to the stripe. Klein gets the wall. This will end the stage. Runge takes the move to the inside. Bradford will get him at the stripe. But the caution doesn't come out. And there it is.
You want something to drink? Yes, they'll take a Captain Morgan and Diet Coke.
What a first stage. I tell you, stages like this make me wish these guys ran 3 stages instead of just 1 break. I know back in the SCAR days, they did run stages just basically the same way that NASCAR uses today in real-world racing. But being as this is ARCA, they typically take a midway break. They take theirs here a bit before that. Either way, David Bradford, your winner of the stage. So it looks like Runge and Klein will be the top 2. I don't know if they're going to jumble that order up as officially that ended the stage or effectively is the caution coming out what ends the stage. If we're going by the start-finish line, we're going to give it to the 13 of Bradford. Race officials will work that out. So this caution, this break, will allow the 19 of Mike Fahey to get caught up to the back half of the field. Only 16 cars entered tonight. And we got 1 car, it's lost connection, it looked. That might have been Keenan Kimber. I think he came back in. First pit stops of the night. Runge will lead them down. Looks like Ingram may stay out of the racetrack, try to pick up a lap lead. So Derek Runge will lead the field down into pit lane here. First pit stops of the evening. We can get out first here and get in that clean air. We're going to see if that really is the difference maker to maintain that top spot. Again, Bradford led all but 1 lap of that opening stage. So Runge will leave the pit lane first. Looks like Ingram and Keenan Kimber both stay out of the racetrack. So we'll get a look at our lineup here. Let's Kimber and Ingram come to the pit lane. They will restart the head of the field. Watch them here. They may be coming down to pit. And Kimber losing connection again. So yes, they will come down and pit, take their penalty. They'll pick up their points. Or at least Ingram will. So as we get ready to go back to the green flag here, pace car lights have gone out. Front row, it's going to be Derek Runge and David Bradford. Runge opting for the low lane. Second row will be Bobby Jr. and Chris Klein. Row 3, Will Jones and Vincent Short. So before we get back to racing, we'll look at the pit strategy here. Obviously only one pit stop during this race to this point due to the stage. So everybody went 22 laps. Now that will vary slightly when we look at Josh Ingram and Keenan Kimber as they stayed out. Ingram did sustain a penalty for that. It's not that he has to pit, but if he's going to pit, he needs to come down when they open. If he comes around the next time, yes, he can pit, but he will take a penalty in doing so. Pace car hits pit lane. Already ready to drop the rag. There it is. Green flag in the air. Back racing again from Fontana. Runge continues to lead, has the clean air. Second place, David Bradford. Klein third. Looking to his inside, Bobby Hamilton Jr. also with Will Jones there to the back bumper of the 51. Vincent Short has fallen back just a bit. It's down to the 7th position. Again, doesn't seem to fire off very quickly. The first couple of laps were okay, but he dropped back pretty early in the first run of the night. We'll see if the 15 has anything we can adjust on that race car to make it quicker. 3 wide behind the leaders. Bobby Jr., Will Jones in the middle, Chris Klein on the top. Oh, it was close. Will Jones and Bobby Jr. almost coming together, mere inches apart. Top 10, 11 cars all in the frame. Corey Bigley further back in the 58, real loose as a couple of drivers catch the wall. Matt Nicholson's going to hit a lot of it, slow way down. He'll lose a lot of track position here. Runge continues to lead. It does seem clean air is king here at Auto Club. Mark Truxell now started just about last on the field tonight. He's up into the top 5. Now Short, just as soon as I say that car's got to be quicker, he finds himself in the 3rd spot looking for more. Off of turn 4, Chris Klein a little loose, gets a piece of the safer barrier, doesn't break his momentum too much. They're still side by side for second, and here comes the 19. Like Fahey to the inside, making a 3-way battle for the 2nd spot, or will it be? He drives it in deep into turns 1 and 2, slips up the track. You can see it in yaw, just stepping out. And here comes David Bradford back up the bottom side of the racetrack. 3 wide again down the backstretch. DeFries now to the top. Fahey in the middle, Bradford on the bottom. Fahey slips up the track, trying to avoid the 71. There was almost contact there between the 19 and 71 machine. A lot of guys dealing with loose race cars on corner exit. We're still 3 wide as we cross start finish. Bobby Jr., I think, might have got the door of the 46 of Will Jones. Had to lift, check up just a bit, loses a couple of spots. He rides in behind Alan DeFries. Derek Runge continues to lead. Klein second, Truxell now third. Then it's Short and Bobby Jr. Now the battle between Short and Truxell. Truxell top of the racetrack. Klein really loose, trying to hang on to it. Man, these guys are just driving the wheels off these cars. Bobby Jr. now a car length off the back bumper of Derek Runge. Down the back straightaway, losing a little bit of ground now as he's got Chris Klein to his outside. Draft definitely playing a role here at Auto Club. It's not Daytona, it's not Talladega, and they're not running restricted motors right now, but definitely drafting coming into play here on this big speedway as we got trouble off of turn 4. Short and Fahey come together. Short's going to take a trip down pit lane. Unplanned with some damage, and the caution does not come out. We stay green. Very unfortunate for Vincent Short. He will catch a black flag for that. I don't know if the admins are going to clear that for him. They may, considering he was forced into the pits from that contact with the 19. Try and go back and look at it from a better perspective. They were 4 wide. We'll watch it here. The red, white, and blue 15. The black and yellow number 19. Truxell way up top. Will Jones way to the bottom. They were 4 wide for a moment, and just coming up the track is Vincent Short. Might have not realized that Fahey couldn't have gone further up the racetrack because he had another car to his right side. Will Jones got a piece of this as well. Oh, big time hit. Just grazes that abutment there to the pit wall and sends Vincent Short somewhat airborne with a hard impact to the pit wall. So Short out of this race. Runge still leads. Bobby Jr. right to the back bumper, but here comes Chris Klein, and we're going to get a 3-way battle for the lead. Bobby Jr. looks to the inside for the lead. Runge up top. At the line, too close to call. Might have been Bobby at the stripe. Runge holds off the charge from Bobby Hamilton Jr. Chris Klein scrapes the right rear in the wall. Sparks fly, but everyone continues to get going forward. Chris Klein now dumps out of line, takes a look for the race lead, but no help. Almost seems like it is very similar to tracks like Daytona and Talladega. You got to have a dancing partner in the draft. You can't just pull out a line down the backstretch and expect it to work. Klein was right there, had a whale of a run, got a nose ahead of Derek Runge, but now drops back to 3rd, now 4th, might lose that as well and send him to 5th. As Bradford gets around. Bradford way up the racetrack alongside the 51. Klein now going to give a bump draft, a bit of a shot to the back bumper of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Is going to shoot him forward just a bit, help him fight against the 13 of Bradford. Real loose, Alan DeFries, big checkup. Matt Nicholson's going to get the wall behind him. Board with Derek Runge, looking back from the race lead to David Bradford, now up into the 2nd spot. Klein runs 3rd, and the 49 to Dominic Pettini up into the 4th spot. Didn't get a single lap in practice here tonight, now well inside the top 5. Zach Millen in the chat. I'm just here to watch Fahey wreck. Coining the line from Drew Blaze. You're a little late, Zach. It already happened. Except Vince got the short end of the stick on that deal. Got a big piece of the wall abutment and the pit lane. Just about 4 laps shy of halfway here from Auto Club. Derek Runge has led from the drop of the green after the stage. Very similar to what we saw to David Bradford. He led all but 1 lap in the opening stage, and now Runge doing his best to keep a nose out in front in his number 99 Mustang. Natives are restless out the rearview mirror, though. Chris Klein up the racetrack looking for a way around. Clean air is so important. We are seeing that here considerably. Everybody behind Runge is able to make moves and do this and do that, and even get a big run on the leader, but it's just not enough to get around. Really waiting to see if it's just going to be a matter of getting some help, getting some teamwork, or as DW would say, some co-opetition. Maybe a bit of a bump draft to force that guy ahead of you past the race leader. Then you got to hope that you have a dancing partner for yourself later if you want that race lead. Klein to the inside, contact down into turn 3. They run each other up the racetrack. They get away with it, but man, the race lead is going to go away for Derek Runge. Chris Klein forcing his way through. Coming to the stripe. He will lead the lap. We'll see if Derek Runge can take it away. Side by side into turn number 1. Mark Truxell way down the low side of the racetrack. He'll come back up onto the racing surface. Runge now back to the lead. Will Klein have the run? He does not. Closing the door. Bit of a slide job for the 99. Now breaks the draft. Drops down to the low side of the dog leg. Klein with another run, though. Nicholson stuck in the wall. He'll lose some ground again. Slow car ahead, Mike Fahey in 13th, the last car on the lead lap as we approach halfway. Fahey certainly with some damage from the contact from Vincent Short earlier. "44 laps complete. Here at Auto Club, we are past halfway. Derek Runge back to the race lead. Klein second, David Bradford third. Bobby Jr. runs fourth. Dominic Bettini in the 5th spot. We'll be right back. We're going to take a side-by-side break. Stay with us. You won't miss a thing.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Green flag pit stops underway here at lap 50. Frank Griffith came into his pit stall, but having a problem, slides the car sideways in the pit box, and now he sits for an extended period of time. 16:67 the stop for the 54 of Frank Griffith. Curious to see who else will roll their way down into the pits here shortly. Battle for the lead. Bobby Jr., Derek Runge going at it into turn 3. Very wide racetrack here at Auto Club. Lots of real estate to work with, but up the racetrack, they're inches off each other's door. At the line, Bobby Jr. is going to lead lap 50. Bobby way up the racetrack, just inches off the wall. That's the fast way around, but certainly not the shortest. Bobby had to check up a little bit there. 3 wide battle for second, though. David Bradford in the middle, Dominic Bettini on the low side. Frank Griffith may be going back to pit lane. Indeed, he is. A penalty for the 54. We got SMN in the chat. It says, can I get a Discord server link? Well, I'm not sure which Discord you're looking for because I've got one, they've got one, and frankly, I don't know if I'm allowed to give it out. So at least let us know what you're looking for. You can send your information into the chat after the race. See if someone can follow up with you. I think this is invite only, but either way, glad to see some interest. So Runge back out into the race lead. David Bradford now second. Runge started back in the 4th spot. Bradford started from pole. Dominant in the front of the field here in the first stage of this race. Led all but 1 lap. But man, it really does seem like if you're out in front in that clean air, it is extremely difficult to pass that race leader. It's a big advantage. Have all that fresh air on the nose of your race car. Again, open setups in this league. So ride heights could be different from car to car. Chris Klein gets the wall again. There might have been some incidental contact with himself and Bobby Jr. Bettini now in the fence through the dogleg, scraping the right side all the way down into turn number 1. Bettini with a run off of turn 4 to the inside of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Further up the field, though, real close to the back bumper, David Bradford. Goes up the racetrack, working the high lane. Meanwhile, Will Jones in the pit lane. Now some more takers on pit lane. Going to be a 4-tire change for the 46 of Will Jones. Sunoco race fuel going in. Waiting on fuel. Oh, a black flag for Will Jones. Potentially too fast on entry for the 46. A coffin nail for Will Jones here. A pit penalty late in this race with about 30 laps to go. Lap car of Mike Fahey, top of the racetrack, kind of slowed up Bradford and Bettini just a little bit. Bettini might take this second spot as they roll down into turn number 1. No, Bradford will battle back on the outside. Klein's going to follow in the tire tracks. Bettini with a nose to the second spot for now. These guys really opening up the wheel off of turn number 4. I thought at least Bradford and Bettini were going to get into the fence. They avoided it. Not what it looked like was going to happen. Go down the line here, Derek Runge with the lead, David Bradford second, Chris Klein and Bettini battling for the 3rd position, then Bobby Jr. in 5th. Mark Truxell runs 6th, Matt Nicholson 7th, 8th is AJ Rogers, Corey Bigley 9th. And there's some more pit stops underway, Alan DeFries 10th, last car on the lead lap. Mark Truxell, Alan DeFries, Josh Ingram. DeFries finishes up his pit work. Ingram with a black flag as well, maybe too fast on entry. And David Bradford and Bobby Hamilton Jr. will come to the pit lane. Four tires and fuel for David Bradford. Going to be the same for Bobby Hamilton Jr. Race leader Derek Runge into the pits as well. Chris Klein will take over the top spot. So varying strategies here at Auto Club as far as when is the right time to come down and get your pit service. Klein and Nicholson will come down and pit from 1st and 2nd. Cycle everybody back around. AJ Rogers now to the point. He still needs to pit. So does Corey Bigley in the 2nd spot. 25 laps to go here from Auto Club Speedway. So Klein heads out. David Bradford's coming with a head of steam here. He should get through. Bradford will take over the lead here once Rogers and Bigley get surpassed. They are in the pits. Well, Rogers is not just yet. Corey Bigley came down to pit. Rogers stays out on the racetrack. 24 laps to go. So the 57 will stay out another lap. And Corey Bigley starts to fall down the leaderboard here, finishing up his pit work. So after the pit cycle, with the exception of AJ Rogers still needing to come down, that's going to put us to 8 cars on the lead lap as Alan DeFries gets around. Bigley should get his lap back when the 57 opts for pit lane. Might be coming here low on the racetrack here in 3 and 4, slowing just a bit. Here he comes, AJ Rogers, his final pit stop of the evening. So Rogers from the race lead, slowly rolling down pit lane for his final stop tonight. David Bradford to the outside of Derek Runge. This will be the battle for the lead. Runge with the nose in front. Bradford still working the high lane. He's been middle to high lane all night. Really haven't seen that 13 car work the bottom much at all. There's your top 3 all in a group. Bradford, Runge, and Klein. Bradford just cannot get clear. With this small group of race cars here, it's going to be difficult to kind of mount a charge and get clear one way or another. You really just got to send it down into the corner, slide it up the racetrack, and hope it sticks. It looks like Runge has got that figured out here. Finally gets clear of David Bradford. Bradford's just going to run in the draft of the 99 for now. Leaders out of turn 4, coming to 20 laps to go. It's Derek Runge, David Bradford, Chris Klein. Top 2 are the 2 dominant cars tonight, but Runge has got Bradford bested for now. David Bradford put it on pole position here tonight, led all but 1 lap in the first stage. Runge has led a majority of them since, with the exception of just a handful during the pit cycle. Four drivers out of the race: Vincent Short, Keenan Kimber, Will Jones, and Josh Ingram. Big run for Bradford. Will he do anything with it? Dominic Bettini and Bobby Hamilton Jr. closing in 4th and 5th, about a half straight away from this pack. I guess it's only 3. We can't really call it a pack. We'll call it a trio. Chris Klein gets the wall. Ingram not officially out of this race. In fact, he'll come back out of the racetrack, albeit 11 laps down. Bradford now to the bottom of the racetrack. Now low side. We haven't seen David try this much here tonight. He's been middle to high side. But now the momentum carries the 99 back around. Runge definitely tough to make that pass on. Top three under a blanket into turn one. Both second place and third into the fence off of turn four. They'll give Runge a little breathing room, but this might be able to give Bradford some room here to build a run. Sniff the draft off the 99 here a little bit. We see that a lot in super speedway racing. Guys will check up a little bit, try to build some distance between yourself and the leading car. Now pull that draft down the backstretch. If Bradford can time this just right, he might be able to jump to the inside. Bradford stays up in the middle lane, kind of diamonds the corner, now back to the bottom on exit. Bettini and Hamilton Jr. still back 2.5 seconds. What can be done? Klein gets to the back bumper, tried to get to the outside of Bradford, but there just wasn't enough room. Coming to 13 laps to go the next time by. Without a caution, I think this win's going to come down to these three, barring a wreck. Bettini and Hamilton Jr. kind of in the catbird seat here if these guys wad it up. This racetrack basically 5 lanes wide, and you really can use all of them. Saw Bobby Jr. using that ultra high side there, that 5th lane for a time. Now to the bottom of the racetrack, into 3 to the bottom. Lane 1, if you will. Bradford gets alongside and clear of Runge for a moment, but Runge opens up the wheel, carries that speed out of turn 4. Will Bradford pinch him up top? Bradford with a push from Chris Klein. We talked about this too. You need that little bit of a bump draft to get that lead, that pass done into turns 1 and 2, still side by side for the lead. Bradford now up off the bottom 1 lane. Runge in the 3rd lane, now up to the 4th on exit. Needs more help. Tucks in behind Runge. They're single file again here with 11.5 laps to go. Now Chris Klein into the second spot. Runge changed lanes there to break up the draft. Now the top three starting to get separated here. Coming to 10 laps to go. Derek Runge with one win on the season to this point. That coming back in mid-June, Phoenix Raceway. Runge is doing an incredible job keeping that car wide and out front, but out of turn 4, there a run from Chris Klein. There might have been some contact. Klein now to the inside. I was just going to say, how long can the 99 hold these guys off? And there's contact into turns 1 and 2. Runge is in the fence. Klein will continue on, shoots Derek Runge up the racetrack, breaks Chris's momentum, but now to the race lead goes David Bradford. This all with 9 laps to go. Chris Klein sailed it into turns 1 and 2, slid up the racetrack into the door of the 99. Runge was able to save it, but not without contact to the safer barrier. Chris Klein took the lead for a brief moment, but had no momentum to hold off David Bradford, and also now showing some right front damage on the 51. David Bradford to the point here late in the running at Auto Club Speedway. Less than 8 laps to go. Runge with some damage as well. Right side, left side. A pristine race car, not any longer. Now he's got to worry about Dominic Bettini closing in as well. A few car lengths off the back bumper. But now out front, if you're Chris Klein, how do you make this work? It was hard enough when there was 3 of them. Now it's just these 2. Pull out a line now, especially in Chris's case. That right front tire is showing. Certainly not as sleek in the wind as it once was. As we said coming into tonight, David Bradford in need of a win to continue on. Bradford 11th in the point standings. Interestingly enough, still 4 wins. Those wins coming all earlier in the season. Five laps to go. Bradford still leads and now putting about a 4/10 advantage in the rear view to Chris Klein. Dominic Bettini was able to get clear of Derek Runge, so move Bettini to 3rd. And Derek Runge comes to pit lane, or does he? Stays out of the racetrack. Bobby Hamilton Jr. running down the 99 as he's well off the pace. Bobby will go around, moves the 25 up to 4th. With only a couple of exceptions, this race has been extremely exciting, but relatively clean as Runge really trying to hang on to it. The car certainly not cooperating like it once was. It was on rails before contact with Klein. Trying to hang on for a top 5. He's got to worry about Mark Truxell, who's about a second and a quarter back. Less than 3 to go. Bradford still in the lead. 3.5 tenths advantage over Chris Klein. There's the distance. You can see it between Derek Runge and Mark Truxell. It's now still about the same, about a second and a quarter. Derek just dirt tracking that thing through turns 3 and 4. Haven't really seen it as loose in 1 and 2. 2 laps to go. Klein is closing the gap. It's now 3 tenths. It was less than a tenth and a half into turn 1. Bradford really backing up his entry now. Trying to break the draft. Now it's starting to look like Indy. Coming to the stripe. Final lap. White flag is in the air. Final lap for David Bradford. Had to win here tonight. Ran good in practice. Ran even better in qualifying. Put it on pole position. Now he's just about a half lap away from victory. Now stretches his lead to 6 tenths of a second over Chris Klein and Dominic Bettini. Bettini way back, about 2.7 seconds from the race lead. Now into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. David Bradford looking for the checkered flag, coming to the stripe. He'll win it at Auto Club. Chris Klein will come home second. Dominic Bettini in third. Derek Runge hangs on for a top 5, but man, what could have been for the 99. David Bradford, your race winner here at Auto Club Speedway. Bradford comes to start finish to celebrate. Parks it on the start finish line. A very happy David Bradford. We're going to step aside here, get one more break out of the way. We'll be back with Bradford, Klein, and Bettini after this. Stay with us.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens, UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Back at Auto Club Speedway, race 14 of the PSRA Open ARCA Series in the books, and it was a thrilling one. Crazy action at the beginning, and then a long run at the end of this thing to close it down. David Bradford, in a must-win situation, wins it from pole. Let's get a word with the driver of the number 13 Crown Apple machine. Let's pull him up into the booth here. David Bradford at Steve with Track Limits. You got us?
Hey, Steve.
David, congratulations, man. A must-win situation here tonight. You pulled it off, got to victory lane. 4 wins on the season. Hard to believe you're in a situation where you even needed to win here tonight. But walk us through your race. You know you had to get there into victory lane tonight, put the car on the pole position. Had your work cut out for you. It didn't seem like you were going to be able to get around the 99 there at the end, but some contact with the 51 kind of made it a little bit easier for you.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the reason why I let him go. I think the 15 was just a little bit quicker than I was. Sorry, the 51 was just a little bit quicker than I was. And I tried a couple times on Derek and couldn't do nothing with him. He was super fast tonight. That's, could have just been he was out front, but I don't think that's the case. I think he had it pretty well in hand, 'cause I think a couple times that I got to his outside, he just kind of stepped his game up a little bit and just pulled him back in front of me. So definitely was a gift tonight. I went ahead and let Chris take his shot at it, and then when they got together, it was a gift for me.
Well, you'll take them however you can get them. You put yourself in position to win these things, and occasionally things kind of fall in your favor. It did so just that way this evening. You pick up the win. Carry some of that momentum now into the next round into Dover next week. How do you get ready for that Monster Mile?
Dover's actually kind of fun for me. It's going to be a long race for sure. 150 laps there is that's a long one, especially at a mile track like that. It's a long one. It's a fast one. It's going to be it's not one of my favorite racetracks for sure. It's going to be something to see, I think.
Well, certainly looking forward to it. David, congratulations. Another win here in the PSRA Open ARCA Series. Who do you want to thank?
Of course, I got to thank Bobby. He really steps up in big ways for us, keeping the broadcast going and, paying what he needs to. That's, and Aaron, I think we got some really good stuff coming for next season. Don't want to give out too many secrets right now, but really some good stuff coming next season. Derek Welch has kind of helped us with the rules. He sent me his rule package. We're going to kind of adapt some of the stuff that he was doing to keep guys in line better. So I think there's bigger and better things coming next season as well.
We certainly called races for Derek's league, the Numb Thumbs Racing League, for quite some time. And strategy-wise, there was always something to talk about. So looking forward to that next season again. David, good to hear it. Congratulations again, man. Good luck in Dover.
Thanks, Steve.
It's David Bradford, your race winner here at Auto Club Speedway. Next, we're going to talk to Chris Klein. I believe the driver of the 51's got a little explaining to do. Let's see what Chris has to say here. We'll pull him up into the booth here. Second place finisher, the 51 of Chris Klein. Chris, it's Steve in the booth. You got me? Chris Klein. Maybe a little technical difficulties from Chris Klein here. He's sending me a message here. What does he have to say? I have no mic. Oh, well, why are you in there? All right, well, either way, Chris Klein, you're runner-up here tonight. He doesn't have a mic, so we're not going to be able to talk to him this evening, so we'll pull him back down into the waiting room. Don't know that we're going to get a chance to chat with him, but man, I would love to hear his side of the story as far as the contact with Derek Runge. But solid run, started 9th here tonight. He finishes in the runner-up spot after contact with Derek Runge. He says he doesn't know why it won't work. Well, we've had it happen before in the past. It's not the end of the world. We're going to move on, unfortunately, though, for Chris. Doesn't get his chance to speak to us here at Track Limits, but we'll pull the 49 of Dominic Bettini, our third-place finisher. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth and get a word with him. He's got to be elated about this one. Again, started back in the 10th spot. Dominic Bettini at Steve with Track Limits. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I hear you loud and clear.
All right. Your mic works. That's a good thing. Dominic, congratulations, man. Again, a 10th place start here tonight. Didn't see a whole lot of you, really, until the last half of this thing, and you quietly worked your way through, survived a little bit of carnage, wasn't up there dealing with the chaos with Chris Klein and Derek Runge, but you held onto the thing, kept all four corners straight on that number 49. Walk us through your race. How did you work through the mayhem and get up there and finish third?
Yeah, I knew I had a pretty fast car underneath me, but I didn't get a whole lot. I didn't really get any practice, honestly, coming into tonight especially. I did a lot of practice earlier this week, but it was a little rusty to start, so I kind of just wanted to save my tires a little bit and get the car underneath me. Fell right, I think, all the way to the backpack. I think I was dead last for a little while. But just kind of found my groove a little bit, got back up to 8th. I think I got a little bit lucky there with pit stops under that first caution, and just try to keep it underneath me. That's kind of all it was for me. I knew I had a good car. I didn't want to push it too hard. And people in front of me are having problems, and I just try to stay out of their way and get a good decent result here, and that's what happened.
Well, it worked out. We go from Auto Club Speedway, the 2-mile racetrack here in California, to a 1-mile, high-banked, very narrow racetrack in the Monster Mile at Dover next week. How do you change up the game plan rolling into that crazy racetrack out in Delaware?
Well, I think that, I don't know, this shorter tracks usually work pretty well for me, so I'm hesitantly excited. Dover's not been a place that I've historically been good at, but neither has been Auto Club, and I've gotten 2 interviews this week racing Auto Club, so maybe that'll change up a little bit, but honestly, just kind of track time, good practice earlier in the week, and just kind of get used to that car. We've got a good setup going, so just want to get antiquated, or pretty much just accumulated to it, and I think we'll be fast there too.
Well, something's working for sure. A third-place finish here tonight. Congratulations, man. Who do you want to thank?
I'm going to go ahead and shout out Derek. Derek Runge, he was absolutely the fastest guy out there, and he probably should have won. But, yeah, I'm also going to shout out my teammate Keenan and Peyton, my buddies Jason, Aaron, Rodney, and who else am I? I already said Peyton. Special girl Kenzie out there watching me, my mom. She might have turned it off, but, yeah, it was a good race.
Was that
honestly.
Kathy?
Kathy, yes.
Yeah, she jumped in. She says, "I love that app car." I don't know if she was talking about Bradford's paint scheme or what, or if it's maybe your paint scheme. But either way, she jumped in and said hello, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, she's been watching me race for a while. She remembered when I was back in go-karts. So I'm honestly a lot better at this virtual racing than I was real racing. So I'm sure she's happy. And yeah, it's been a great night. Thanks for the host. Thanks for anyone who's watching out there. And y'all have a good night.
All right, Dominic, congrats again. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck next week.
All right, you too.
We're going to try Chris Klein here again. I think he's got his technical difficulties fixed, and I give him credit for doing that. We'll pull Chris up. Chris, it's Steve in the booth. You got a copy this time?
Yes.
Hey, there we go. Chris, congratulations, man. Runner-up finish. You were in position for a win here tonight. Ran that top 3 late in this race between Derek Runge and David Bradford. You guys kind of all changing positions throughout this thing, but late in the running, contact with the 99 sends him into the fence. You lost momentum. Bradford gets by. Walk us through that late race incident between you and Derek Runge.
Yeah, first and foremost, sorry to Derek. I didn't mean to get into him. I felt like I left him a lot of room and kind of got chased down the track a little bit, and we got together, and I hate it. I didn't feel like I came up, but looking at it, it looks like I may have moved up a foot or so in the middle of the corner. Just trying to get all I could at the end of the race there. I hate it for him.
Well, nevertheless, it is what it is. I'm sure you'll have some conversations in the coming week as you get into Dover, Delaware next week, the Monster Mile coming up. We talked about it with Dominic Bettini just a bit about how much narrower and how much shorter this place is compared to Auto Club. How do you get ready for Dover, Delaware, that Monster Mile, the track that eats dreams?
Dover's tough. It's so easy to lose it off the corner, and there's no room to recover if you make a mistake. You're almost guaranteed to be out of the race if you spin coming off one of the corners. Like you said, it's just super tight. I think my strategy going in, if I'm able to make it, will just be to play it safe and try to give everybody extra room and try to see how the race plays out and be there at the end. Unfortunately, because of work, I missed several races, so I'm not in the run for the points, and I know Derek's right in the middle of it, and that affected him tonight, and feel terrible about that. Been in that position myself. But, we'll just go in and try to keep our nose clean and stay out of trouble and see where the cards fall.
That's all you can do moving forward. Chris, congratulations again. 3rd place here at Auto Club. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
David Bradford for putting the league on and all the help that he has. The open setups are a huge plus for me. I wish I knew how to change a couple of things and get it to do what I wanted. I struggled off 4 pretty much all night and lost all momentum going down the straightaway. I could never really figure out how to get through that corner and keep up with these two guys. 1 and 2, the car was absolutely flawless almost all night long. But those two guys, I'm missing my buddies Derek and Tom. They're not here this week, so hope to see them back next week.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck in Dover.
Thanks, buddy.
Chris Klein, your runner-up here at Auto Club Speedway. And just want to check in. Get Turzak Racing in the chat says, Steve is my hero. Thanks, Kyle, for checking in. Kyle used to run the IROC Challenge Series back in the late model days. Definitely a wheelman at the very least. So thanks for checking in, Kyle. With all that said, though, interviews complete. Let's get on to our race results. We'll take a look at them. Of course, we talked to our top 3 drivers already. David Bradford picking up the win. Chris Klein, Dominic Bettini finishing in the second and 3rd place. 4th place is Bobby Hamilton Jr. Derek Runge finishes in 5th. Mark Truxell was 6th. 7th went to Corey Bigley. 8th was Alan DeFries. AJ Rogers was 9th. Matt Nicholson 10th. Frank Griffith 11th. Mike Fahey, after a rough night, finishes 12th. Josh Ingram 13th. Will Jones had pace early, but a penalty cost him his evening. He'll finish 14th. Keenan Kimber was 15th. And Vincent Short last in the 16th spot after a crash involving himself and Mike Fahey. Short definitely got the short end of that stick and hitting the pit wall in that exchange. Moving forward, Dover Motor Speedway next week. Again, you will not have that race live broadcasted here on Track Limits Network. I'll be traveling for a wedding down to Florida. We will be back, I believe, by Tuesday. So if this race in Dover ends up being a barn burner, usually they will have it tape delayed, and we'll try and get that running for you guys midweek, and we'll do the double again. We'll make it work for you guys because we did that previously. Here, I think it was Talladega. A week or 2 ago. I think it was last week. So stay tuned for that. If we get that all situated, if that ends up being the case, we'll try to get it out to everybody so you know when to check in. It will be an off night if it is a tape-delayed race, and then we'll be back again the following Sunday for the penultimate race of the season. It should be a good one at the very least. So thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight. Tom Janikowski, that S4 guy, SMN, Kathy Bettini, and of course Turzak Racing. Thanks for saying hey guys. I appreciate it. If you haven't already done so, like the broadcast, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed already, also hit the subscribe. Just make sure you're not already subscribed, because if you hit it again, you unsubscribe. It's funny how they got that working. Thanks again for watching, everybody. I'm Steve Singer. Congratulations to David Bradford picking up the race win here at Auto Club. We'll see you at the next one.
Track hits your eardrum like a slug to your chest. Like a vest for your Jimmy in the city of sex. We in in that sunshine state where the bomb ass him be. The state where you never find a dance floor empty and pimp speed. On a mission for them greens. Lean, mean, money making machines, serving fiends. I've been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes. Ever since Honeys was wearing Sassoon, now it's 95 and they clock me and watch me diamond shining, looking like I'm Rob Liberace. It's all good from Diego to the Bay. Your city is the bomb if your city making pay. Throw up a finger if you feel the same way. Straight putting it down for California, yeah.